I'm doing a little bit of research for East Tactics. I've got the Kraton 6S V5 2021. I have 1631 modified springs in the rear with 3K diff fluid. I've got 12477 springs in the front with 3K diff fluid. I have upgraded the ESC fan to a 21,000 RPM fan running off the 7.4 ESC output. I also have the YA Racing heatsink and 30mm fans. I have added the EXB front and rear chassis brace along with the chassis spacer set. Switched out to the thumb screws for the body mounts. I have added a zip tie modification, the RPM front bumper, RPM rear bumper, and I've got some stuff on the way, so I'll be showing some bench videos here soon. Quick note and a quick shout out to East Tactics for all of his help with all of this. Without him, I don't think that I could have done any of this, so be sure to check out his videos. I'll put a link down below in the description. But let's go ahead and finish up this test. One thing I just want to point out, East Tactics, is that at this point I do have the preload set to peg out the suspension, both front and rear. So we have virtually no travel in the front, no travel in the rear. So we're going to test for control and bounciness here, and then after that we will go ahead and reduce the rear preload and reduce the front preload in order to get it to just about the proper sag points if we were to run this in a different configuration. But we're mostly concerned with what it's going to do for bashing. So with that being said, let's get the body on and let's get moving. I don't think you guys should expect to see any awesome tricks or anything like that. Again, I'm testing for control here. I will jump it a few times with a homemade ramp, but I do want to just point out that I am still learning all of this, so you'll probably see more crashes than decent landings, and that's okay. But let's get it going. So, oh yeah, so I've also added these skid protectors, the front nose guard, the two top. I had another one, I'll probably mount that on some other time. But let's get this going. We're testing for control here, basic control. Hopefully I'm getting some good shots, and you have to forgive the lighting. Alright, I think this is a good place to kind of test that. Keeping in mind there are tracks. And it is tracks and bumpy, and not too bad. You see the wheels kind of wobble there. The front end, which tells me that it's not absorbing it the way that it should. Hey, if we break something, we break something, right? I'm not going to try any flips or anything like that. I'm too new to this game. And very limited. Oh, that was kind of plush. I really enjoyed that. That was nice. It had virtually no bounce. it absorbed all of that. All of that too. So from my initial thoughts, and again, I haven't really driven this much. That's how you miss a ramp, folks. Okay, so I am running stock. The Boots tires. I did vent them front and rear. I attempted to set my camber and toe properly. I don't think it's that big of a deal right here anyway. Everything seems to be okay. All right, I'm gonna do a couple more short passes, just kind of like control passes. Oh, look at this. Okay, so we've already got my pin popping out right there. It's a good thing I brought the I need to tighten that down before we go any further. So let's head back to the car, do a couple repairs, look this over. Not really repairs, just tighten down a screw. Look this over, and then give it another rip, going with the springs set, the preload set to where the suspension is pegged out. So again, you can see it is a little bit bouncy here. No big deal, not unmanageable. Let's head back out. A couple of passes just to kind of see bounciness. Here we go. Nice landing, absorbed it. I like it. I wonder how big we can go, but we ain't gonna find out tonight. That suspension is awesome. All right, we don't want to take up too much time here, get her going too hot. What I'm doing now is I'm gonna adjust the shock preload in the rear. Let's see what that really means. Did we bottom out more? Is it really any better this way? Do we see any reason to increase this to a 5K diff fluid? The total weight of the vehicle right now is 14.2 pounds, fully loaded, including two 3S Spectrum batteries. And so I have almost got the preload adjusted here in the rear. And let's see if we're getting any binding. We were having that issue before. No binding. It does feel a little soft though, right there. Much softer. All right, we're gonna have to, this is fine. We're letting the engine cool a little bit too. Not that we're running it really that hard. All right, this is a little bit off, but what I'm trying to do here is pretty much just make sure that the preload is set pretty close. We're pretty close. Let's get it on something a little more level. Let's see. All right, how are we looking on those A-arms there? Okay, so it looks like the left one needs to come down a little bit. So again, we're leveling out the suspension here. All right, I think that's close enough. We're setting it more optimally for short course racing, things like that. We'll see what happens. Again, I'm interested here to see the handling characteristics of these shocks. Again, 1631 on the rear, 3K diff fluid, running M2C shock caps and pistons. What's this going to do? What is this going to do? Is it going to be, is it going to look more manageable? Is it going to feel more manageable? What happens in those small jumps? What happens in those big jumps? Well, we're not going to find out the big jumps today because that's not my thing today. But we are going to go ahead and check this. Yes, I would say so. I would say that it does take, I don't know. There we go. Okay, still that plush landing like that. I love that actually. Woohoo! Okay, so it slapped. Okay, all right. Yeah, I will say I can definitely tell a difference in its handling, right? So it is much more cush all the way around. I'm not gonna lie, I like this a lot. My only concern here is that on bigger jumps, that 3K diff fluid isn't gonna be able to absorb it. Oh my gosh, yeah. It's totally different, totally different. You can feel that front. I know it's just a small change in those shocks. Totally cush on the landing. Loving it, loving it. Oh, as East Tactics would say, like butter. Cush, plush, like butter. Yes, yes indeed. I'll tell you what, big difference, big difference. Woohoo! Those tires do balloon a heck of a lot, man. Yeah, baby. That's cush. That is sweet. Do you see where it landed right there? It just took it. You see where the chassis slapped, but this is an 8-foot jump, folks. So nice. It lands so nice. You see that? I'll tell you what, it's 100 times better like this than what is stock also. The stock springs and the stock shock fluid. I think the shock fluid's 1,000 CST. Not sure. I'm running 3,000. Nice. Nice. Gosh, it's so plush. On a dime. Oh, it took that all. Like, I have no qualms. I have no qualms about doing that again. That completely absorbed that. Oh yeah. Yeah, to me there is a handling difference. To me there is a handling difference. I do not feel that there's a shock absorption difference. And if there is, it is minimal. It's hard to draw a conclusion from that other than to say, I mean, if people are comfortable with, that little bit of extra bounce, primarily in the front, I mean, then I think that it's okay to run it pegged out, just to be honest with you. If you're going to be, if you want a little bit more plush suspension, then run it to where the shocks, in this case, where the springs are wound all the way out, and allow the weight of the vehicle to naturally produce that sag in the rear. And in the front, wow, well, that ramp didn't hold up. And in the front, basically just adjust the preload so that you can get level or slightly angled suspension. Oh, there we go, see that? Yeah, I love it. Yeah, see, even over that, I feel that it's smoother. Which really makes sense, but again, it's going to be up to everybody's individual preference, I feel. Again, whether or not they're comfortable with it. If they're comfortable with that little bit of extra bounce in the front, and it's not even that much. But the handling in general, the control, the turning is better. Not gonna lie. Oh, nice! If it ain't broke, don't fix it, baby. Now I gotta find a daggone... Oh! This is horrible. This is bad. Bad! Son of a gun. Well, folks, we're gonna go ahead and call this tonight, because now I gotta find a freaking hub nut. And now I'm mad.